Hello, and welcome to episode of Todd Talks, and Todd Talks people listen. Why? Because I stand for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Hopefully. Okay, better tomorrow is always debatable, but yeah, hopefully. Do I seem awestruck to you? Is my smile a little bigger today? I mean, yes, I know it was bigger during Scooby-Doo vs. Courage, but still, I have just come. I literally watched the premiere. I usually never watch the premiere because I'm always busy or doing something. But because I thought the Q&A was going to happen right after the premiere, I decided to watch the premiere of Goku vs. Superman, the definitive episode, and it was good. It was good. Yeah. I almost don't want to do my usual thing, like break it down, like what did I like, what did I not like, because there's so much to like here. And yes, I know that there's gonna be trolls going after Ben and Chad and the research team and all that, but this is really gonna be hard to argue. Like seriously, this is something to where you go, yeah, yeah, that is how it would end, wouldn't it? Now, this is the way that it would go. Just saying. But yeah, this was everything you could have hoped for, and possibly more. It did things even I didn't expect. Now, and I was following, what like I read that like the Ben post about why he was doing the matchup, and I knew like they were going to include heroes and all the continuities for Superman and so on and so forth. But they dug so deep, it was crazy. I mean, they were referencing pre-crisis, post-crisis, New 52, Rebirth, Infinite Frontier, the Elseworlds in certain cases. And then with Dragon Ball, they referenced the manga, the animes, the movies, the video games, the heroes and superheroes. They went so deep. These are easily some of my favorite breakdowns that they've done, and they do great breakdowns. I don't think that gets enough praise at times. Yes, some of them I do feel possibly skimp on what they could talk about. Might have been more of a time constraint. Also interesting, this was the second longest of the trilogy. The first one was 32. The second one was 20-ish, and this one was 26:30. I think they said it was. So I found it interesting that it's like nice right in the middle. It's right in the middle. But yeah, just in the breakdowns, there was a lot to enjoy here because they talked about everything with Goku and Superman. I liked like with the Goku they started like right at the beginning as they should, and then they worked up to Super Saiyan, and then Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, and I do want to apologize for one misconception that I made in my preview video. I said that Goku hadn't perfected Master Ultra Instinct. Technically, that is true, but he has perfected it enough to do like that giant form, which was from the manga, which I did not know about. But so he has perfected it enough. I guess you could say. But I was still accurate in that he can't use it forever because it's immense taxing of his body. So I still maintain that he's not perfectly mastered it, but he's mastered it enough. But I like how they did that and addressed everything, including the techniques that were only known by him in the manga, like the evil containment wave, which I wasn't afraid of with Superman. If they had him lose because of evil containment wave, oh, the fury that the fans would have had. Then with Superman, they addressed not just his absurd power levels, but just how gosh dang broken he is. I mean, I don't think I've ever addressed this, but I don't read Superman comics. It's not because I don't like the character, and I love things like the Superman animated series and Man of Steel. Yes, still a Snyder fan. Or Superman and Lois. That's a really fun one outside of the season 3 finale. Seriously, like why did they make Bizarro into Doomsday? But his just level of absurdity is so broken, and like the World Forger feat. I remember reading that and that was an important feat because it's just so broken, and the technically didn't even define everything because he was in a lower dimension, and then he fought his way through the dimensions. One of you in my comments reminded me of that, and it's just he's so broken, okay, and they did mention how he would tank guys like Darkseid, and that was one of my arguments for why he would win because of Darkseid's absurd level of power, and punching Brainiac through timelines and doing big bangs not once but twice and starting a reboot, and I loved how they tackled it and why he is such a character to where he's not boring. He's just not. But he has to be handled in such a way to where, he is that Man of Steel, but he's also, like they said, the guy who will save a tree. Yes, he will save a tree, actually. I have no doubt he'll save a tree. Save a cat from a tree, and he'll answer fan mail and Christmas letters because he wants to make people happy. Or, if you remember My Adventures with Superman, when he learned about we finally got his super hearing, he, like, wore himself down to, like, near exhaustion because he kept hearing people in need, and he didn't want to miss a single one. He didn't want to miss out on saving a single person because he knew that it might be life-threatening. That's who Superman is. And at that core, beyond his powers is what makes him the ultimate hero in so many people's minds. And then with Goku, he is I'm never going to give up. You got me this time, I'll get you the next time. That is a life lesson that we can all admire. And I'm glad they touched on that, which is something that Ben addressed that he wanted to touch on because it seemed like they were boosting up Goku, putting down Superman, but now they've lifted both up properly. Let's go to the fight now because this was a really good fight. I honestly wasn't sure how they were going to top the first two because the first two fights were structured obviously differently, and one was obviously much shorter. But the way they handled them was really, really fun in many, many ways, including in the first fight, which I still love. And if you remember my Death Battle list, it's both the Superman episodes, Goku Superman episodes are number 2. I loved how they slowly built up Goku's power level up until the final climax, so they blew up the Earth. Then with Goku vs. Superman 2, it was just about overwhelming power displays and the Kamehameha and him walking through it, which I still think is really, really dope. That was really, really cool. And then with this, it was about just having fun, and you could tell and I love that in the fight. And a lot of people have addressed this in the thumbnail image and even some of the still images at the end of the episodes. They're smiling, they're happy, they like this matchup. They like this matchup, even though they've canonically never met, to my knowledge. But they are enjoying this, and even at the beginning where Goku's like, "This is it. This is when we're gonna decide who's strong." He goes, "If you say so." He's enjoying this. This is fun. And then they accidentally blew up the moon. Superman's like, "Cool," and Goku's like, "Oh, we can wish it back later." He's like, "Yeah, okay." And then he goes full power. That was really, really fun. And then Ultra Instinct. I love how they handled Ultra Instinct, where Goku's just getting wrecked, and then it activates, and that he's the one wrecking Superman enough to say, "Okay, I need to go and charge up." And then they did the multi-sun feat, and then they did the ultimate Kamehameha with the giant form doing the dragon fist kinda, and Superman just going through. And then at the end with "You almost had me there." They would totally be friends. Now, yes, they would be a couple of characters who would need to go to a far distant universe or a planet to train so they don't blow everything up all the time, but they would be friends. This kind of shows it's let's go again. You got it, buddy. It's yeah, that's awesome. God, it's so good. And then I think arguably my favorite part of the episode was something that Ben had teased for a long time. And I think this is what he was talking about. It was the question of why does this matchup matter so much to so many people? And it's not about the characters per se, because you're always going to have a favorite character. It's about the ideologies of it. It's not just East versus West. It's philosophy. It's who is the better character on a deep personality level and in a spiritual level, if you will. Because Superman is the unchanging hero that you can rely on versus Goku, who is this catalyst of change and growth, and I've got to get better, I've got to get stronger. There's always something else out for me, waiting for me to challenge me, to make me better. And again, that's something we could all learn from and live by in so many ways. And Wiz was basically having a philosophical crisis, an existential crisis, where it's why are we doing this? Why are we stripping these characters down to just their powers and abilities and saying one has to win? when that's not what this is about, when their characters are so pure and great. Why would we ever have Goku lose it, since he is this kind of a character that means so much to these people, or Superman, where he's this much in this character, and yada yada yada. And for Boomstick to be the voice of reason and say, we're doing it because it's fun, because we are honoring these characters in a way that is fun and it's exciting and it's beautiful, and we're not trashing them. We're smashing action figures together, and that's an honest take of what Death Battle is, and they've addressed that in the past. Nothing about this is canon. It's just an honest enough analysis of what these characters are and who would win in the end, and that's beautiful. Also, I'm sure some of you Goku fans are happy because Goku did get certain wins with the Superman versus Superman in terms of training, and then his speed was technically even. So Goku does get a win. He can beat Superman in very specific areas, or at very least match him. But yes, in the end, Superman wins. Debate over. Oh, we can. It's never going to be in. Debate's never going to be over. Nothing is over. Nothing! You just don't turn it off. In fact, don't turn this episode off. Keep watching Goku vs. Superman so you can get really high ratings and views, and Ben can be forever happy. Alright. Next time. Season 11 finale. We're getting Gladys vs. Unicron! I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. We're getting Galactus versus Unicron. This is the matchup that so many have wanted, and they even said the most requested death battle in history. It's Galactus versus Unicron. It's just weird because I'm pretty sure Darkseid versus Thanos was the one I said was the most requested in history. But anyway, I'm shocked because obviously this is gonna be a 3D fight, and I really didn't think they were going to do 3D fights next to each other, which is why I was thinking, maybe they're going to do Columbo versus Light, or a lot of people were thinking, wait a minute, what if they pull a fast one and do Santa versus Santa? I would not have liked that. I would have liked Columbo versus Light, and that's totally going to happen next year. But, I just got one more thing. So, yes, we're getting Galactus versus Unicron, finally. Galacticron! So that's going to be fun to talk about, and I'm very curious about just how epic that's going to be, because between Courage and Scooby-Doo, Elder Souls, Elder Souls, and now Goku vs. Superman, it's gonna be hard to top. So yeah, I'm excited. And with that, I made this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think of the definitive episode of Goku vs. Superman? I hope you liked it. I really hope you liked it. It's clearly put so much into this. So let me know in the comments below, along with what you thought or you think about Galactus vs. Unicron. Okay? So, thank you for watching. As far I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.